Get the hell out. I don't even like... I should get the hell out.
Yes, but not an ethnic one.
Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about?
Well, immigrants are not Americans.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Nigga, what?
You know, I've been a big fan of Jubilee for many years. I've been watching their stuff for a very long time. My bad, bro. They got ice in my mouth. I've been a big fan of Jubilee. I've been watching them for a very long time. Back when they used to do those videos like Middle Ground, some basic ass shit. Who doesn't love a good conversation between two people who would normally not have anything in common? Used to watch Find the Faker and some of their other content like Spectrum. But then everything started to go downhill one day. And back then it was honestly a great channel to watch, bro. Like I really liked Jubilee. I think everyone really liked Jubilee. It really felt like for the most part that the creators behind the channel were trying their best to find people of somewhat normal political views for the most part and put them against each other to see who would come out on top or to see if there's any, you know, middle ground that they could find. But then I knew something was a little fishy when they did that fucking dumbass episode years ago about flat earthers versus fucking scientists. Like, keep this in mind, right? We have niggas who define their entire worldview by sticking goddamn pencils up their goddamn nose versus people with fucking masters, PhDs, and have actually contributed positively to human society. And we're just gonna all act like these niggas are on the same playing field of intellectual, like, rigor. No, what the fuck is going on? I knew something was bad as soon as that happened. Fast forward to a couple years, and here we are. Jubilee made arguably the worst video I think I've ever seen debate-wise. Now, for those of you who have not been watching or keeping up with any sort of current politics at all, I don't even know what to say. That's kind of impressive, to be honest. You're either 1 year old or probably not very interesting to talk to. But nigga, the point of this video, Jubilee has gone down fucking hill, bro. For the past couple Jubilee videos that I've seen, they've actually made me unsubscribe. I mean, there's been so many terrible ones, right? I mean, we have the progressive versus the right-wingers versus the progressives, and every single time, it's just so bad. It's just so terrible.
Is in utero.
What does fetus mean in Latin?
What the f? I'm sorry, is this a
It
language class?
means little human being.
But this one is the absolute fucking nadir. This video is fucking terrible. Here in this video, we have Mehdi Hasan, you know, famous Democratic, or I guess you could say liberal progressive commentator. He's a very big advocate for Palestine. Pretty cool dude. He's been living in America for about 10 years. He's originally from the UK and all that. And he was invited on the Jubilee to have a Surrounded episode. If you don't know how Surrounded works, it's literally one person of one particular thought versus people who are their direct opposite, and there's usually 20 of them or whatever. And now, bro, this video, bro, holy shit. I didn't know it was even possible to be more despicable in presenting yourself and your ideas. Jubilee is not even pretending as if this content is engaging in any sort of fashion that isn't just made for outrage. I mean, seriously, every single person in this Surrounded episode who's not Mehdi Hasan has the IQ of a tadpole. So incredibly stupid and so vitriolically hateful towards people who aren't white. It's fucking astounding and hopelessly disgusting, and also hilariously funny in a very, very depressing kind of way. And the only reason why I say that is because when you listen to how these people talk about the topics that they think that they know that they're talking about, and you realize, oh my god, half of the country voted for a nigga who literally believes and says all the shit that these people spit the fuck back out. Like, that, we're so cooked. Like, we're so cooked. Pack it up. That's crazy. So what I thought I would do here is I'd scroll through some of the highlights of this bullshit and get a little pissed off, because this is fucking disgusting to watch. So let's go for my viewing displeasure. So Mehdi Hasan's first claim here is that Donald Trump is pro-crime and pro-criminal. Yeah, I think I kind of agree with that. If you literally see anything that this motherfucker has done his entire tenure as being the president both times, he's pretty much done only things to benefit him and his friends. So let's see how these fucking little Einsteins around him, right? These fucking boy and girl geniuses surrounding Mehdi Hasan address this point. So the first guy over here tries to address his point, this fucking reject Disney star looking ass boy over here. And he talks about this equivocation between January 6th and a hypothetical where the LA rioters or protesters, whichever word you prefer, theoretically stormed the capital of LA, I guess, or like City Hall, I guess is what he means to say. I'm not really sure. And this is a really stupid point because Mehdi Hasan does a pretty good job addressing the fact that so many of the January 6th rioters were overtly violent towards the police.
Let's say police officers were rushing them in. They were letting them in and saying, hey, you guys can go in. Like we have many testimonies that say.
What about the violent ones, though?
Okay, violent ones like
a man named David Dempsey, a judge, a Reagan-appointed judge, sentenced to 20 years in prison. He stomped on police officers' heads. The judge said his conduct was exceptionally egregious. There's a man named Daniel Rodriguez. He got 12 years in prison for taking a stun gun and tasing a police officer in the neck and giving him a heart attack. The judge said he was a one-man army of hate. Donald Trump pardoned him. Does that not make Trump pro-criminal? He's letting violent criminals out of prison.
I would say no, it doesn't make him pro-criminal.
You're okay with that?
I did not say that. I said that one pardon against somebody.
It was 1,600 pardons. 600 of those were people
one,
charged
one
with...
example that you just gave me.
I can give you more. Just keep going.
Fine. And I'll say the exact same thing every single time.
Then your argument will fall apart because it's not just one example if I keep going.
And this guy does a really horrible job at addressing this point. Damn, this nigga got obliterated instantly. One thing that's really interesting that I want to address in this, and obviously this is going to come up a lot in this fucking dumbass video, is that these people have no concept of concession. You know what I'm saying? Like, these niggas will argue tooth and nail this dumbass point, and then when someone addresses their points, they have to walk back the statement. It's the classic moving the goalpost fallacy, saying that Trump pardoning, quote unquote, one person does not make him pro-crime. And then Mehdi Hasan addresses this point saying that, well, he didn't pardon one person, he pardoned 1,600 people. And then the guy says, well, one example out of that 1,600. And so you can see, right? The point has been addressed. The argument has essentially been defeated, and the nigga's like, nah, fuck that, whatever. It's just, oh my god. Goodbye, idiot. Next nigga, please. Next up, we have this absolute fucking sinners looking vampire, goddamn Richie over here. This guy's actually been in a couple Surrounded episodes before, and every time I see this nigga, I want to fight him, bro. This nigga is so insufferable because this nigga wants to pretend as if his points are supposed to be about, you know, he has this presentation of trying to be a nice guy and trying to meet people where they are and trying to empathize with people. But you can see the pure vitriolic hatred behind every single statement he makes. And every single time Mehdi Hasan addresses this nigga's dumbass points, he just gets more and more upset and violent. And it's fucking hilarious to watch, but it's just so like frustrating to like argue with someone that like is so clearly bad faith. Let's watch.
You're from northern UK, I guess?
I'm from London, North London.
Okay, fair enough. What's your ethnic background, if you don't mind asking?
My parents are from India.
Okay, perfect. Just getting the premise here. First of all, I want to say
the premise of Donald Trump being pro-crime.
No. I want to concern myself with why you care about what's happening in the US. Here's the thing. I am happy that he released J6. In fact, so much so that I was prepared to protest if he didn't. Okay. So when you say, are you okay that he's pro-crime? Sure, because you know what? We're changing the definition of what crime is, first and foremost.
You don't think stomping on police officers' heads is a crime?
I don't think it's no longer a relevant conversation anymore. You're
really?
arguing, no, it's not.
Yeah, this guy is a fucking total vampire ghoul piece of shit, trying to weaponize Mehdi Hasan's ethnicity against his argument as if it has any connection. Like, what the fuck? Why are you even mentioning this nigga's race? Like, the shit doesn't matter. You're just such a raging white supremacist, and you're like foaming at the mouth to like get any reason to say like, you're brown skin, get the fuck out of the country that my ancestors stole. This is an absurd thing to state. You see why this video pissed me off, bruh?
It's about tribal warfare. Okay. That's where we're at in the US. I don't know where you're at in the UK. You're from India, so I don't really...
I'm not from India.
Oh, sorry, your parents are from India, so...
I'm an American
you
citizen.
have your own states.
I'm an American, you know.
You're an American citizen? Okay,
Yes.
fair enough. I don't know how you got that, but fair enough. Here's the thing.
Are you an American citizen?
Absolutely. Okay. But here's the
Not
thing.
sure how you got that.
Born here.
Okay.
Born here, and my family lineage is settlers from the 1500s, so I have some stake in the claim here, okay?
But you're
a little different
But you're a
than yours.
descendant of immigrants. Settlers.
I didn't know.
Colonialists.
Yeah,
You don't
colonials.
look
Yeah.
very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna address this dumbass white people or Native Americans point. What a loser, bruh. Hey, I can't even take this nigga no more. Let's just move on to the next, bruh. Next nigga, please.
I think the people who clapped you have voted you out.
All right.
One thing that's just so fucking disgusting about this video is just, you can summarize almost everything that happens in this motherfucker as literally just a white supremacist says the most horrible, egregious shit you've ever heard in your life.
And nobody gives a shit. Everybody cheered.
That's crazy to me. The hate in this country has been weaponized so much that niggas think it's outwardly okay to be like, yeah, man, I'm okay with literally everyone who's not white. Like, that's just like a normal thing to say. Like, I don't know why, like, that's so controversial. These niggas are so fucking stupid. Next, we have one of the goofiest niggas in the crowd. This nigga's name is Gernard. Do I need to say anything? This nigga's so chopped. He's got one of the dumbest names I've ever heard, and he looks like a rejected fucking Dark Souls facial preset. What is this nigga's face, bro? Anyway, let's get to his fucking dumbass argument.
So in California, for example, the state legislature, completely progressive, just passed a law that limits sex offender registration to 10 years. It was life before. That's pro-crime. The legislature in California, which is progressives again, has passed a law that says the voter-induced 3-strike law is no longer absolute. If someone murders someone, stabs someone on 3 separate occasions, a judge now does not have to give them life. That's a progressive law. That is not. That is pro-crime. You support that, don't you?
Basically, he's trying to do guilt by association. Mehdi Hasan is arguing the point that Trump is actually pro-crime. And then this fucking medieval peasant over here tries to argue that, well, actually, it's the left that's pro-crime because California has some dumbass laws. Look, brother, I am also a Californian citizen, and I don't agree with every law that is on the books. Just because there are laws on the books in a state that is seemingly progressive doesn't make the overarching point that he's making incorrect. You're not even addressing his point. You're trying to do this guilt by association saying like, well, Trump's actually not pro-crime. It's the left that's actually pro-crime. It doesn't address his point, for one. And two, like I said, a guilt by association. Because Mehdi Hasan is progressive, therefore he must agree with every single thing that a progressive state would do, which is an absurd point.
So yeah, that makes him pro-crime and pro-criminal if he's being soft on child sex
Well, you
traffickers,
just said they
like
were his
Epstein.
friends. He's
No, I'm
clearly
saying he was
something.
friends. He was friends with Epstein. You haven't seen the videos? They danced together, partied together. Epstein said I was his
it's a guy
closest
he knows.
friend.
He's not supported the only people
Actually,
supporting
that's
pedophilia are
true.
the left.
Trump gave a speech about 20 years ago where he said Epstein's a great guy. He loves young women. A lot of them are very young. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, laugh, laugh. So yeah, I think he's pro-crime and pro-criminal.
So you
And I
think
think he's
he's pro-crime
soft
for
on
having a
sex
friend who's a
offenders.
do you have any friends who are criminals?
Not that I know of. Certainly not child sex offenders. No, do you?
If it came, no, of course not.
Okay,
If
so
it
we're both in agreement again.
If
So why
it
are you
came out
defending
tomorrow
Donald
that
Trump?
if it came out tomorrow that one of your friends was a child sex
You know
trafficker,
what I'd do?
you'd stop being friends with them.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I
but-
wouldn't say- and I
then
wouldn't-
I'd go on TV and I would say, oh look, Mr. Hasan was friends with this guy 10 years ago. Therefore, he's
What if
pro-child
Mr.
sex
Hasan
trafficking.
said, I wish them well when they're on trial? Wouldn't you ever go at me for
You
that?
wish your
Wouldn't
friend
you
well
ma-
on trial?
Yeah, child sex trafficker. Would you mean that?
I wouldn't wish someone well, but that's
But
that's
Donald
your
Trump
gotcha.
did.
That's your gotcha.
I'm about to flash on this motherfucker.
Yeah, this nigga's such a fucking goofball. He keeps trying to make all these like points saying like, well, do you have friends that are blah, blah, blah? Like, nigga, if you're friends with a and you don't immediately stop being friends with them, that says a lot about your character, does it not? The point's over. You've lost, sir. Move on. Next nigga, please. So this next dude over here is probably the most normal of everyone who's come up so far. His point is kind of like basically a conspiracy where he's saying that what if Trump doing everything he's doing is for a grander purpose and not for just the purpose of being a criminal?
He's a convicted criminal himself sitting in the White House.
Okay, I want to make sure I
34
understand you correctly because
Yes.
I don't want to strawman you. You're saying
I appreciate that.
every time that he's been confronted,
Not every time. I didn't
most
say the
times,
words every time.
most times,
A lot of the time.
a lot of the times,
Yes.
he's leaned towards criminal activity.
I didn't say criminal activity. He has committed
Endorsed
crimes.
criminal.
He's been indicted for
Correct.
88 different criminal offenses in 4 different jurisdictions by 5 different grand juries. He was convicted himself on 34 different criminal offenses by a jury of his peers. When
Right.
confronted with the crimes of others, for example, a Chinese crypto billionaire
Right,
called
right.
Justin Sun, who was being investigated for market manipulation, Trump dropped the case, invited him to the golf course,
Right, I get
invited
it.
him to
So
the White House,
plenty of examples,
and the guy
plenty of
invested
examples.
$70 million in Trump's
Okay, so
cryptocurrency.
what I want to ask you
That's
this.
pro-crime
Okay,
in my
so
view.
is it possible that all these things that he's done that supposedly make him pro-crime is there's another reason for the doing it? There's other justification. For example,
no,
let me give an example,
yeah,
and then you can
please.
rebut it. The J6.
Yes.
Is it possible that he could have done this to unite the country, to move past, to go to a new chapter? If it's even possible, I think you would have to admit that there's another possibility. Therefore, he's not pro-crime. At least a possibility.
Even if that was true, that doesn't necessarily negate the point that he is or is not pro-crime. I mean, just because some of his actions would bring about some amount of change in the country doesn't mean that his other actions aren't inherently criminal. This nigga was indicted for so many crimes, 34 fucking felonies. And let me ask you this, if you're talking about January 6th and that being some sort of grand, tidal wave change for the politics of the country or some fucking bullshit like that, what about all the women he sexually assaulted? What does that have to do with some grander, great American narrative? What the fuck are you talking about? Next nigga, please. God, it's weird. For some reason, conservatives' fashion is getting 2% better. This nigga looks like a rejected Calvin Klein model, or he just works at his local Calvin Klein store. Anyway, so this next guy's fucking claim, which is very interesting that very few of these people have even addressed his point, by the way, is that he's basically saying that, like, You keep talking about the pardoning of January 6ers. Why do you keep talking about it? Why don't we talk about Hunter Biden?
But your entire claim is that he pardons. That's basically you keep bringing it up. All you do is bring it up.
Okay,
well, let me say this.
Are you okay with his pardoning of Paul Wolchak, who
let me
stole money
bring
from
this
his
up.
employees?
You keep talking about
9 former
pardoning.
members of Congress.
You keep talking about
He
pardoning.
keeps pardoning criminals. That makes him.
You know who else
criminal.
pardoned a big criminal?
Go on.
Hunter Biden was pardoned by his father. He did crack cocaine, and he had hookers there too.
I'm with you all. I'm with you all.
But then why don't you claim that Biden? Why don't you claim that Biden?
I think Joe Biden in that instance was pro-crime. He shouldn't have done it.
Well,
he
so
shouldn't
he
have
was
done it.
overall pro-crime just because he did that.
No, but Joe Biden didn't just. So if it was just the pardon, then you'd be fine. But I already mentioned there's also the fact that Joe Biden wasn't actually convicted criminal in office. Trump has committed crimes. Trump hangs around with criminals. He spent much of the 80s hanging around with the New York mob. He hung around with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Well, that whole that's
Now, I am not a fucking fan of Biden. I think he was a fucking shitty president. One, this doesn't address the point at all. This is a whataboutism. Very, very classic diversion and not addressing the actual claim being made. Well, what the fuck? What does this have to do with anything, really? Who gives a fuck if Hunter Biden was pardoned by Joe Biden? Sure, that may make Joe Biden, in some respects, pro-criminal. That doesn't mean that Trump is not pro-criminal. Like, what is this point? Is this supposed to be a fucking gotcha? It's really weak. Because here's the fucking thing that's so stupid about right-wingers. Right-wingers don't understand, like, how everyone to the left of them operates. They think that if you don't like Trump, then you automatically, like, suck the fucking wrinkled smegma out of fucking Joe Biden's cock. Like, nigga, no, we don't. Most people in this country don't like Joe Biden. He's a fucking piece of shit. That's why he was so unpopular during that fucking lame-ass debate. No one fucking likes Joe Biden. Even fucking liberals don't like Joe Biden. No one likes this nigga, bro. You're not gonna win any hearts by trying to bring up, oh, Hunter Biden. I don't give a fuck about this lame-ass nigga. Why don't we talk about Trump? Next nigga, please.
Oh, well, I use a pseudonym online. Fair enough. No, I don't. Absolutely not.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews.
So what's your name?
My name is, my name's Connor.
Now we come to the reason why I made this fucking video. This dude looks like he consumes nothing but black porn. I gotta be honest with y'all. This guy is a fucking freak. Horrible, horrible piece of shit who actually got fired from his job, as far as I understand it, from espousing his horribly fascist opinions on our governance, as it were. Hey, y'all, they call me Fucker Supreme. I'm editing here, and I just wanted to put a little bit of a note on what I'm about to say in this next fucking part. When I was talking about how Connor apparently got fired from his job, I did a little bit of research. I didn't do too much because it's kind of hard to figure out the definitive details and shit, but like, apparently him getting fired from his job, apparently that happened all the way back in January. So people are saying that basically what Connor was doing in this scenario, saying that he got fired for espousing his quote-unquote Catholic beliefs and he's being persecuted for them, and that's why I put up the Give, Send, Go or GoFundMe or whatever the fuck it was. Apparently that's a load of malarkey, so I don't know, bruh. Everything else I say about fucking Heinrich Himmler over here is correct, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if this nigga's just a grifter. I mean, he's obviously just a grifter, but I don't know how serious this dude is as a person. Still a horrible, fucking disgusting vampire ghoul piece of shit who is definitely not going to heaven. And I don't even believe in that shit, but I know that nigga's not going there. All right, anyway, back to the shit. This nigga is a fucking loser dork. Let's all make fun of him by hearing the bullshit that comes out of his mouth. So the next point that Mehdi Hasan is gonna address, his next claim, as it were, is Donald Trump is defying the Constitution. And oh boy, here comes motherfucking trouble, bruh.
So I would say that with Trump being anti-Constitution, I don't really care, to be quite frank. Okay. Because in regards, Constitution is a document that should seek to serve us. And when it fails to seek to serve us, that can be amended. Laws can be changed. And quite frankly, the fact is, we're defending things in this country that shouldn't be defended. The First Amendment should not defend pornography and making children and women be victimized. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed per the First Amendment. I think that quite frankly, there are a lot of legal processes that are enabling criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So quite frankly, if Trump is anti-Constitution, good. And I think he should go further.
So just checking, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do.
Okay. I'm saying that Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to amend it and include
whenever it's in your
Amendment.
favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not. Because
so you don't
it's the
believe in
friend enemy.
democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
autocracy.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want autocracy?
Well, because quite frankly, I voted. I kind of voted just to
I came with this argument, but I'm bored of my own argument. I'm much more interested in this. So
yeah, absolutely.
How do we get to an autocracy?
I think, quite frankly, that if we are able to enact local leaders,
who is the we, by the way?
I think, quite frankly, these far-right conservatives sitting right around
white
me.
people?
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
So,
well, actually, I have quite.
Some of the people in this room don't make the cut from what I can see visually.
Actually, hold on for a moment. I do think that there are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you. I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country, which is majority white,
so
and should stay that way.
How does the United States... I mean, we've gone so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? So what's your name?
My name is, well, my name's Connor. Pleasure to meet you.
Took a little bit of a doubt there.
Oh, well, I use a pseudonym online,
fair enough,
but fair enough.
And then this nigga gives up the fucking ghost. This is one of the worst things I think I've ever seen in a video that's supposed to be somewhat professional. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. This nigga goes through and explains his entire worldview. This dude's entire political position is quite literally Project 2025. This nigga doesn't believe in democracy. He doesn't even really believe in American values. He's just a fucking Christian nationalist, which is just fascism with a couple more syllables for being dead ass, bruh. This nigga is so disgusting and so fucking stupid that he got fired for saying the dumbest fucking thing I think I've ever heard someone say in a video before. It's crazy that this dude was even clapped in any respect.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well, quite frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
I didn't ask about deporting. What does the government look like?
What does the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a sort of benevolent leader such as
Where does he
Franco.
come from?
It could be a kind of aristocratic class, could be someone
who picks the autocrat?
Frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote on it. Kings were
isn't that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that state.
And then no more votes afterwards?
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills, because that's the whole thing.
How do you know?
Autocrats
tend to kill everyone,
Carl
even their own
Schmitt makes
supporters.
this point very well in his work. It's the friend-enemy distinction, right?
Carl Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that. I didn't actually say that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
what about the persecution of the Jews?
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was a little bit of persecution.
We
and stuff
may have
like that,
to rename this show because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you can say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
So his entire viewpoint is basically, yeah, man, Hitler's kind of cool, actually.
I think you say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am.
Deserve the welfare. No.
Oh, fucking tough guy. You gonna shoot me from mouthing off?
I wasn't going to, but you kind of talked me into it.
It's Pepe's become kind of
Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about?
It's everything I've already said in other videos and shit, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's niggas like this that like, what is the point, right? One of the things that I wanted to address with this video is like, people always talk about in this country about how we're supposed to meet people where they are and have these, you know, discussions with people, you know, try to change minds, try to have these conversations. But when do we have to admit to ourselves that the time for talking is kind of getting to the point where there's no point? Where are you ever going to get ground with arguing with a fascist about the rights and privileges of all human beings? This dude's entire political ideology is based on the premise that not everyone should have the same rights and equalities. This dude basically says that he wants to return the demographics of America back to its quote-unquote traditional roots. That doesn't necessarily mean he wants to eliminate, you know, everyone who's not white, but he definitely is probably not opposed to that, considering the way how he answers these fucking questions. I'm so tired of looking this nigga's ghoulish ass face. We're moving on. Next nigga, please. So next we have Eugene, somewhat normal looking Christian, I guess. But before I even talk about this nigga, can I just say that there's a nigga in the background who's wearing like an AI generated Burger King t-shirt? What the fuck is going on? I think I have to take back what I said about conservatives getting a little bit more fashion sense. Hey, it's me again, I'm back. Apparently this dude in the background wearing that motherfucking Burger King t-shirt, that Burger King t-shirt is actually an AI generated version of that racist ass white woman who called the black autistic child the N-word and got like $1 million. Yeah, I didn't realize that at the time when I was making this comment. It just kind of hammers home the point that I've been making this entire video of like, talking to these people is getting us nowhere, bro. The time for talking is kind of over, bruh. Like, this shit is just so disgusting. We have people like this who actually have some amount of political power in our country, actively putting us under authoritarian fascist government. And it just gets worse every fucking day. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. I don't know if I'll come back. Unpause. The world though, whatever. So this dude's whole point is essentially, well, a couple points. One, he talks about why does Mehdi Hasan even care about the document when in its written conception it had nothing to do with fucking anyone who wasn't a rich white landowner, which I guess is true.
I want to start, like, what is your connection to the Constitution and why do you love it so much? Like, what makes it so important that Trump would defy something like the Constitution to you personally?
Great questions. My first connection is I'm an American citizen. I naturalized American citizen, took a pledge to this country, to the Constitution. As a previous speaker has said, the Constitution is not perfect. A lot of things I don't like about it. I don't like the Second Amendment. There's various amendments. I don't like the way the Senate is set up. I'm sure there's things you don't like about the Constitution. The difference is, I don't think you can just illegally defy the Constitution. I think each and every one is going to make up whatever we want. Certainly presidents who are elected with an oath, right? Donald Trump took an oath to preserve, protect, defend the Constitution. And now when he's asked on television, isn't it your job to uphold the Constitution? He said on NBC, I don't know, define the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He wants to defy the 22nd Amendment and be president for a third term.
Well, I'd like to start to say I really don't find the Constitution that important. I find it to be like a 300-year-old document. And it was created to defy the country that subjugated your ancestors in India. And then your parents probably moved from India to Britain. And then you move here to tell us that we should listen to a piece of paper that you were never even connected to begin with. If I don't care about it, why do you care about it so much?
How do you run a country without any kind of laws or due process? And by the way, you do care about it, because without the First Amendment, you wouldn't be sitting here.
Well, I agree with the First Amendment, and I think
so. Do you agree with Donald Trump's crackdown on the First Amendment? He's imprisoning people for their speech. He's threatening free speech media organizations. He's threatening peaceable assembly.
The entire point of the Constitution and many of the laws that we have set up in this country is that they're supposed to be, well, self-amending. That's why we add amendments to the Constitution, because history teaches us that things need to change and that society needs to progress, does it not? So it's kind of a weird point. And then the next thing that he says is this.
So I don't like the First Amendment. I like free speech.
Okay, so the First Amendment is what guarantees free speech. I'm from the UK, by the way. I'm from the UK, which is a democracy. We don't have the First Amendment. No, that's one of the things I do like about the Constitution. I wish the UK did have a First Amendment.
So people get arrested for praying outside abortion clinics and stuff like that, right?
So you're opposed to people being arrested for speech crimes, I assume.
Well, it depends what it is. If it's like the people...
so you're like one of the previous speakers. As long as it's someone who agrees with you, you don't mind the
crackdown.
No,
I support...
Either we consistently support principles or we don't.
And then this dude's whole argument fucking falls apart because, well, to be honest, he didn't even address the main point about Trump defying the Constitution. He just kind of says, why does it matter? But then he kind of defeats his own argument by showing that he's a hypocrite, basically saying that it doesn't matter when Trump defies the Constitution, but it matters when other people are persecuted for, quote unquote, having their rights suppressed, as in praying in front of fucking abortion clinics, which, by the way, by and large, a lot of the people who do those things are not just praying in front of abortion clinics. A lot of these people are antagonistic to the people going into the abortion clinics. It's a little bit more than just exercise of free speech. So in certain cases, it kind of does make sense that people are being removed from the premises. Not necessarily that I agree in all these instances of these things happening, but it's just kind of one of those things that's like, you know, a case-by-case basis, hence why we have a legal system to handle these fucking things. I also have to say one other thing about this dude, which isn't really about him, but the fact that everyone else around him immediately votes him out when he says that he agreed that Mahmoud Khalil should have been released for having his First Amendment rights violated.
100%.
Okay.
I don't think anyone...
So do you think Donald Trump is defying the Constitution by cracking down on the First Amendment?
So I think he's cracking down on free speech, like the deportation of Mahmoud Khalil, who was just
released from prison by a judge saying his First Amendment rights were violated.
And I agree with the judge, and I disagree with Trump deporting them, but I think that's more a matter of free speech and not the Constitution.
I think that's pedantry at this moment. I think you've conceded that he is cracking down on free speech, which is the First Amendment, so he is defying the Constitution, so it's a pleasure to be in agreement with you, sir.
All right, pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Thank you very much. Which is is kind of telling, but it's not like there's anything to tell. We already have these niggas actively clapping for fascists. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Why do I even do this shit? Anyway, this guy's point's kind of stupid. Next nigga, please. So this next fucking recovering cocaine addict over here, his name is Kai, by the way, fucking Cobra Kai looking ass boy. He's basically a great replacement theorist. Now, if you don't know what the great replacement theory is, good. You're a lot more mentally sane than I am. But for those of you who don't know, the Great Replacement Theory is this fucking neo-Nazi dog whistle that basically states that the white majority of America is being eroded with brown people because Mexicans are coming. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And he's saying, to address Mehdi's claim of Donald Trump defying the Constitution, that it doesn't matter because Trump is doing what he's doing to quote unquote save America by deporting a bunch of people who have the legal right to be here.
So let's pose a hypothetical wherein the entire population of the United States has drastically changed.
Yes.
And the population now has completely different intentions about what to do with the country. Let's say it wants to give it all back to Mexico, dismantling the United States of America. If that's the case, then what's the use of the Constitution? It hasn't defended the country. In fact, it's allowed for its destruction.
How did the whole country change?
Demographic replacement, mass migration. I mean, we're seeing a change in demographics. And there's
what is I do want to talk about immigration today. Everyone's itching in this group to get to immigration.
Yes, sir.
I've saved it for you all. But given we're on the sense of the Constitution, and you asked the question, proportion of the population is foreign born.
It's very difficult to measure because the actual projections of the number have been changing more rapidly.
What is currently the best estimate of official?
I think it was about 15%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just under 15%.
Which is, by the way, more actually than the original estimate was. So
but 15% of the people are going to change the country, change the Constitution. How's that going to work? It's actually a nightmare. As someone who wants to amend the Constitution and get rid of things like the ridiculous way the Senate is set up, or the Second Amendment on guns, or various other things, it's really hard to change the Constitution. They made it almost impossible. You know, last time we had a constitutional amendment?
You know
like
what?
20, 30 years ago.
I understand, which is
why
why
I think members of Congress pay.
Which is why. No, I get it.
So where are you getting this scenario where 350 odd million people all become foreign-born migrants or the children of migrants, immediate migrants, even though America is a nation of migrants, and then abandons the Constitution and gives the country back to Mexico? Outside of your imagination, where is that happening?
This guy's not dealing with a full deck of cards, let's just say that. One thing that I think is so interesting about this fucking freak is that he's like fucking foaming at the mouth at every opportunity. And Mehdi Hasan does a great job of breaking down all of his really stupid ass fucking points and addressing them in a very respectful and clear-cut manner. A lot better than a lot of other debaters. Then he goes back to talking about fucking Heinrich Himmler over here. Heinrich Himmler over here is...
This is a certified hood classic.
Okay, yeah, and you're a real good journalist because you don't talk to people who identify as like a political ideology. I mean, that's a very liberal idea.
I don't debate fascists. I'll talk to them, but I won't debate.
Frankly, that's upsetting. I think there's a big problem when, we value freedom of speech so much, but any, real journalist is not going to talk to somebody because they identify with the politically incorrect ideology.
Just talk to the guy in front of you. What are you talking about?
You literally stop talking to him, and then everybody has to vote
debating versus talking is very different.
This point is really stupid because he's trying to say, and I guess I'll just add on to what I was going to say, is there really a point in debating with someone whose entire political philosophy is antithetical to your entire life? This dude doesn't believe in free speech. He doesn't really believe in the rights of all US citizens. What's the point in debating and engaging with such a fucking stupid, dumbass, absolutely absurd bullshit idea? It's just fucking like I'm losing my goddamn marble. And it's just so fucking stupid. Like, who care? It's like this dude's whole position is basically saying, the reason why liberals, quote unquote, aren't winning people on the right side of the aisle is because we're not going to engage with them when they fucking spew out Nazi talking points. Nigga, no. It's like, just imagine being a black person in the 1960s fighting for your rights. Then a dumbass white guy comes up to you and saying like, the reason why people don't want to give you your rights is because you don't want to debate with Ku Klux Klan members.
Hey, quit playing on me like I want to slap the fuck out you, nigga.
Because it just falls in water. So stupid. Shut up.
Next nigga, please. One thing that I also really love about Mehdi Hasan is that in comparison to a lot of other debaters I've seen, this dude holds no quarter when it comes to pressing someone on them not addressing his questions, on him pointing out when they're logically inconsistent, pointing out flaws in their reasoning, all that good shit, bro. Like, this nigga's so good at it. So next we have Jessica. She is the very conception of a Western fucking millennial wine mom. This bitch looks like she just finished her last fucking glass of Chardonnay and tries to argue something about politics, but clearly has no idea what she's talking about.
Defying the First Amendment. Can you give me an example?
For example, he banned the Associated Press from attending White House events. A Trump-appointed judge said that was against the First Amendment. He's been cracking down on media organizations he doesn't like over their speech. If they say stuff he doesn't like, for example...
Cracking down how?
So, for example, he banned the Associated Associated Press from attending White House events
I
because they
can't go
said
to the White House
it's the
either.
Gulf of Mexico. That's not how it works. They were already at the White House. He deprived them of access, so he punished them for their speech.
But
which is
are
why
they
a
allowed
judge,
to go to the press
which is why a
though?
judge he appointed, Trevor McFadden, said this was contrary to the First Amendment. A Trump-appointed judge. He's called MSNBC and CNN illegal. Media organizations are not ipso
But
facto
that's free speech.
illegal.
He can call them whatever they want.
Attacking the media
Yeah, he
by
can
the
attack
president
them.
as the executive?
Yeah, he can
And
say whatever he wants. That's literally the First Amendment.
he can say whatever he wants.
Absolutely.
But the media can't say what they want.
They do.
But he's going after them. He's suing them. He's using lawsuits to crack down on the press.
They
Presidents
used
have not done that
lawsuits to
before.
give him 34 felonies that Hillary Clinton did.
No media gave him a lawsuit.
No, but people
Oh, we're
on the
talking about
Democratic
media.
side.
We don't talk about the Democrats.
Okay.
Could you be any slower? So she's one of the only people in this segment of the video that actually tries to say that Trump isn't defying the Constitution. And Mehdi does do a very good job countering it by basically saying Trump has, by his own express power as the executive being the president, cracked down on the press by issuing lawsuits, by barring press from entering the White House. And yes, she is correct in saying that Trump has the freedom of speech just like any other American, but the difference is between saying something and actually doing something. Trump doesn't just say he doesn't like certain, like the Wall Street Journal, Associated Press. The nigga actually suppresses freedom of speech by not allowing the press to report on what he's doing and by suing them into silence. That's very literally defying the Constitution. It's so easy, bruh. Do these niggas think? Like, do they think, are the synapses in their head firing? These niggas must have a goddamn Jimmy Neutron brain blast moment every time they try to remember what they had for dinner the night previous. The mental faculties of the people in this video would astound Charles Darwin. Like, he'd pick up a human skull and be like, this must be a new species of bonobo. Damn, that's an actual skinhead for sure. That was like an actual fucking jump scare, nigga. That was like a 5 night. That's Foxy. Next nigga, please. So claim number 3. Immigrants overall are good for America. A premise that I wholeheartedly agree with. Almost everyone that I know in my life is an immigrant, or at least is the child or parent, or parent of immigrants, or not parent, but basically I live in California, a very diverse area where people are either the children of immigrants, blah, blah, blah. I've worked with immigrants. I love immigrants. They're great people. The fact that we're deporting so many of them is frankly disgusting and is just proof positive that this country is barreling its way towards Nazi Germany. Well, we're pretty much already there, but you know what I mean. Let's get on to whoever's next in the hot seat. Who's humana? Who's coming up next? Next we have Fuck, I can't even say this bitch's name. Danielle. This moment is another moment when I watched this video for the first time that I actually thought I had a fucking conniption. When she said immigrants are not American, while she's speaking to an American.
So in regards to your claim, I just want to start by asking this. Do you care more about helping Americans or immigrants in this claim?
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant and American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that were born here.
That's not true. What's the basis of your claim for that?
Are you talking about people that get naturalized in the process of becoming American?
14th Amendment. Have you read it?
Okay, yes, I have.
Oh, so you be just lying and shit, huh?
Citizenship clause. It says any persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States.
I'm aware of that.
There's about 40 to 50 million naturalized Americans in this country.
Yes, but
you didn't seem aware of it because you said Americans versus immigrants.
You do understand that once you become naturalized into the country, you are a citizen of the US, meaning you are what? An American. It's on your passport, you dumb bitch. Holy fuck. Honestly, this shit is so goddamn stupid that I don't even want to hear the rest of what she has to say. She's already lost in my mind. If you can't even argue the premise of saying immigrants aren't American, even though they literally are, as long as they have been legally processed into the country to become a citizen, you can't even address the point. How do I explain gravity to a nigga who doesn't know how gravity works? I'd be talking to a flat earther. Well, considering the clientele, the Venn diagram is probably a circle. Next nigga, please. Next up in the hot seat is fucking Joseph, and this nigga is quite literally a picturesque version of a Texan Chad. I mean, look at this dude's form. The ugly ass polo, the fucking messy hair, the shitty, badly fitting snapback with the Texan symbol on the back. This nigga's got it all. So this dude has some studies. This nigga thinks he talks sweet. This nigga thinks he's real smart.
All right, so first before I start, I need to know what you mean by good. I can talk about the economy, I can talk about culture, I can talk about all those things. I need to know what you mean.
All of them. I'm saying immigrants are good for the economy, they're good for culture, they're good for society. Where's the lower wages?
What do you mean, where's the lower wages?
Where's the lower wages?
Sure, so you can look at the STEM industry. It's been in a complete and total recession. There's been tons of studies from the Economic Policy Institute that shows that companies from Silicon Valley, they engaged in mass firing of workers, around 35,000, but then they hired around 12,000 H-1B visas. And it's kind of just standard economic thinking.
It's not standard economic thinking. The vast majority of economists and economic studies suggest that there is a negligible, if no impact on wages over time.
That's not
immigrants. In fact, your colleague mentioned earlier, construction, there is actually evidence in construction, yes. But in some industries, in some areas, there is an impact. But overall, no. In fact, a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that migrants since 1965 have raised wages and raised innovation.
Who's that by?
National Bureau of Economic Research.
No, hold on. That's where you publish studies. I'm
yes, I didn't memorize the names of the authors.
Yeah, I know you did. Right?
Can you give me the authors you've got?
Yeah, hold on. The study you're talking about is from Giovanni Perry, and what he did is he didn't account for aggregation issues, nor did he.
The vast majority of studies.
Let me speak,
please.
Yeah, thank you. Right. So listen, he didn't account for aggregation issues, right? And when you look at like the spatial approach, which is what all these economists use, you're not accounting for the fact that when immigrants come into an area, natives leave. If you look at an occupational approach, where you look at the specific firms that immigration is going into, like Kim ETAL 2013 did, you find a net negative impact when there's a 10% increase of immigration. You find around a 0.5% decline in wages when it comes to the specific occupations they're going to.
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
I don't know why the fuck he's talking about this whole natives leaves argument. White flight is not a good argument in terms of economic impact because statistically speaking, as far as I understand it, white flight is not necessarily a net positive. A big reason why wages decrease is because a lot of these companies hire undocumented migrants. And undocumented migrants do not have the potential to argue against their employers because if they try to unionize themselves and argue against their employers, guess what happens? They give ICE a call and they boot their ass out the fucking country. So yes, wages do go down because the companies that are employing these people are inherently exploiting their fucking labor. Conservatives, even the ones that try to understand like statistics and facts and how this shit works in the real motherfucking world, they can't put two and two together and they don't know where to point the finger. These motherfuckers will really be out here thinking that Jose and Maria are the reason why the economy is in the fucking toilet, when it's actually motherfuckers like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Donald Trump himself that are contributing to economic decline in the country by firing American workers and then replacing them with undocumented migrants, which they can pay for pennies on the dollar and they don't have to guarantee them rights. It's so easy to figure out. A baby could figure this out. Why aren't you pointing the fingers at the niggas who own the companies exploiting the labor of other human beings? Maybe it's because you don't give a fuck that they're being exploited, you just care that they're not white. That's usually what it boils down to. Every single time Mehdi Hasan addresses these dumbass points, even when these niggas think they have facts and statistics, it kind of just boils down to, I'm a racist, please let me deport and every single person who's brown. Please let me do that. Oh, I hate it here. I really do.
I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like... I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
Why?
Because you come here and say all this bullshit
Why?
about how Americans are lazy.
Why?
You push.
Pause, you've been voted out.
It's nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you.
You're gonna have to go.
Nice talking to you. You're gonna have to go, bro, is what he said as I left, to an American citizen. Good to know where you stand on immigration. It's not about immigration, is it? That's what it's not about.
Here I come. Put the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood meme right here. There it is. He's just a racist. Next nigga, please. This nigga looks like Waluigi if he was running for Senate. This nigga looks like he would sell you a potion, an elixir, and an apothecary. Yo, this nigga looks like the villain from fucking Meet the Robinsons. Remember that nigga, bro? Motherfucking, what's his name? Nero Bloodstone from fucking Shadows of Evil.
So, what type of immigrants are we talking about?
What do you mean?
Like any immigrants or
immigrants? That's why I said immigrants.
Illegal
overall.
immigrants.
Undocumented immigrants also contribute greatly to the US.
Let's put it this way. I mean, I'm an immigrant too, from Iran.
Okay.
There isn't even
How do you feel about the fact that people here want you out? Are you okay with it?
I'm here to debate you, not debate them.
I mean, you're all on the same side. You're part of one group.
No.
You've been clapping each other.
No, I mean, there are conservatives here, there are far-right people here, there are Republicans
How
here.
do you feel about that guy wanting me and you to leave?
But
I'm just wondering. Wait, this is the topic of immigration.
It's not
How
about
do you feel about the guy?
It's not about my feelings towards them.
Okay.
It's about staying on this topic.
Okay.
And
Immigrants are good for America, yeah. You and me, we're good for America. And the guy over there wants us to leave. So I'm just wondering how you feel about that.
So I believe that there has to be strict immigration laws.
Okay.
We have to make sure that the people are coming here have the good intent of the United States in mind.
Now, the thing that I love about what Mehdi Hasan does here is that it seems as though he's not addressing his own argument with immigrants overall being good for America, but he is directly addressing it because now he's talking immigrant to immigrant. And to expose the hypocrisy in this guy's thinking. This guy's trying to address the point that overall immigrants are good for America while being an immigrant himself. Checkmate. Is there anything else? Like, there's nothing to say. The nigga's lost. He's already on the wrong side of the argument. I mean, maybe he agrees with the premise, I suppose, but like, what do you even say to this? This nigga's a Republican, as an Iranian immigrant, by the way, trying to argue that immigrants overall are not good for the country. What are we doing, bro?
That's not my claim, but okay.
So
my claim is about immigrants are net positive.
If you just open our borders to every single person that wants to be here, you know, that claims that they have economical hardship in their country.
Who's calling for open borders?
No, I'm just saying, you know.
Oh, it's a straw man, so you're just saying a straw man.
No, I'm saying
you're wasting time with a straw man. No one's calling for open borders. I can call for open borders.
You waste
I said
time.
immigrants.
You wasted time trying to cause division between me and my
division.
friend.
He wants you to leave the country. That's a pretty big deal.
He's right. This is kind of a straw man. He's not addressing his argument. He's saying immigrants are overall good for America, and now he's talking about open borders. Crazy thing of this section too is that the nigga in the background, he keeps saying that dude wants us to leave, and the dude is literally nodding his head in the background. That is a nice hat he's wearing, bro, but that shit is squeezing all the oxygen out of his fucking dome, bro. Next nigga, please.
The question is, immigration is good for America, right?
Overall, if you look at the net positives to things like our society, our culture, our food, our economy, I think immigrants have been a net positive. I think if you look at your everyday lives, we all benefit from immigration.
And what kind of conservatives disagree with that?
Some of the guys who told me to leave this place and go back to not a citizen.
Do you think all conservatives?
No, good to you.
I'm a deferred action of childhood arrivals. I was an illegal immigrant myself.
This nigga's a DACA recipient and he's a Republican?
I'm gonna suck you and kick your fucking ass.
All right, next nigga, please. We're done.
This person doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
So next we have fucking Brian, and he's been in a couple of these episodes before. I've seen him around. This nigga's whole dumbass argument is basically that immigrants that are coming in don't share our cultural values, which is total bullshit.
So my argument is that what is a nation? A nation is a geographical location full of people who have some things in common. So I think some of the things typically in history are going to be like race, religion, ethnicity, language. These are some of the things that we have to have in common in order to actually have a functioning civilization. I'm not necessarily a giant fan of self-government. I'm a Catholic nationalist. I'm not a fascist. You have to have at least some things in common in order to actually have a civilization. And the immigrants, especially illegal immigrants that come into this country now, disrespect us. They hate everything that we believe. They don't even speak our language. I watched after Trump got elected, I watched an interview of an illegal alien woman crying and about getting deported, and the entire interview was in Spanish. That is a spit in the face. It's disrespect. They don't care about us. They abuse our system.
As someone who's a Catholic nationalist, wouldn't you be in favor of Mexicans coming over? I mean, Mexicans are the most amount of people immigrating to the US. Mexicans, by and large, are Catholic because the Spanish were Catholic and they set up all the fucking missionaries all around Mexico and California. What's the problem? They literally share your core values. It's the brown skin, isn't it?
You know, truth be told, I'm not a very big fan of the black people.
Yeah, nigga, it's the brown skin. Of course it's the fucking brown skin. Yeah, got me. Next nigga, please. Next up, we got Cyrus, who is he's the child of immigrants, Persian. His problem is with the economy, as if immigrants don't directly contribute to the economy in an extremely positive way.
Well, I am mainly upset, not at the immigrants, legal or not. I'm mainly upset at Wall Street. I'm mainly upset at the elites, the special interests. They are the main reason why we've been having this issue since 1965. There are a few bad apples, we can agree, but we want to go after the elites. They are the main cause of the problem.
Love it.
And just like healthcare, trade, everything.
Did you know, Cyrus, that the top 1% dodge $163 billion in taxes every year, while undocumented people pay $100 billion in taxes?
But in a state like California, some taxes are too high. I used to live here, now I live in Las Vegas.
Different debate.
Okay,
I'm saying immigration is good for
depends
America.
on the
People
taxes.
like you and me overall are good for America, is what I'm saying.
Okay, but it depends on how it's done.
Yes.
It depends on how it's
and
done.
how it's been done
so
to the US.
I'm not blaming the housing crisis on immigrants, not on wages, but in a state like California that doesn't build enough homes and they're bringing immigrants in, you have to increase supply of housing.
I kind of understand what he's getting at, but like his argument is kind of in favor of immigration if you really listen to what he's talking about. He's trying to say that California, in order to address all these issues with housing and such, you would need more labor. So where do you think the labor's coming from? The immigrants. Like what? And then he's going to talk about fucking the great replacement theory again. We're supposing some dumbass hypothetical that white people are going to become extinct in America.
Should we be concerned about the demographics? So
no.
Anglo-Saxon, European Americans, 0% of America, it doesn't matter.
Are they 0% of America?
Well, let's say if it becomes 0%, it should not work.
They're not going. Why you bring weird hypotheticals?
But there has to. But
really, it's just stupid fucking fear mongering. Demographics and populations change with time. That's just what happened. People migrate. But a big thing that none of these people ever address when it comes to the question of immigration is that why are people even immigrating to the US in the first place? Why is it that America is directly responsible for the wave of immigration that happens? America destabilized almost every single country south of our border, and suddenly we're surprised that all those people moved to the US when we completely destabilized their economic infrastructure and their governance in a lot of particular cases. I mean, think about where people are coming from. Mexico, Guatemala, Haiti, etc., etc. All places that America has either destabilized through direct intervention, espionage, or sanctions, economic intervention. All these things that lead people to flee their countries in order to get economic prosperity, right? Motherfucker, are you thinking these things out? Blame the government. The government is the reason why we have a migrant crisis in the fucking first place. Dumbass. And then he proceeds to, Obliterate this nigga.
I mean, they're still part of our country. There's culture. There's,
Yeah.
I mean, even Britain. Like,
I mean,
it
America's gone
concerns
through
me.
many
But it
demographic waves,
concerns
right?
me when Britain is changing,
Britain
and
is-
it's, you know, it's like
Britain's
they're
been
losing their
changing for
culture.
years.
But it's
Who said
losing
they're
their
losing
culture.
Who
Are
says
they?
that?
Are they going to try to?
I'm
what
from
are
the
they
UK.
gonna-
I'm telling you, no one's losing their culture.
London is going to be very little British in
Who
one
says
day.
so?
What's the plan? That's what we want to know. What's the
You
plan?
just made that up. Have you been
But
to London?
how do we know?
Cyrus, have you been to London?
No.
So then maybe you shouldn't comment on places you don't know anything about.
But what I understand that there are people in this audience that don't like me or you in this
Yeah,
country,
they want
and
us
I
to leave.
respect that. There's some that don't even want me to date a blonde woman. They want to keep to their own, or ginger or whatever.
Wait, nigga. You respect the people? What? So are you in favor of miscegenation laws? What do you mean you respect someone who says you shouldn't date someone outside your race? What are we talking about here? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are you talking about? I hate these niggas, bro. I hate them so much. You see why I had to make this dumbass video? There's just too many fucking idiots in the world that don't get the ever-loving shit kicked out of them intellectually. Well, sometimes physically. This motherfucker might need an ass whooping.
To try and make that
I'm not surprised. One of the Charlottesville marchers doesn't like me, and I've met those people, and I respect their views.
You really shouldn't.
Well, they're wants.
Don't respect racists and fascists, is my advice to you.
Well, they have their preferences. You know, that's just, we can't change them.
Yes, you can. Yes, you very much can change someone's dumbass racial preference. Guess how you do that? Immigration. Having integrated communities allows people to be less racist. It's really hard to be racist towards someone that you've lived with for all of your life. Very simple. Making sure that people can live in their own ethno-state fucking commune makes the world more hateful and just makes more division in the country. This is the problem with the country. There's a large majority of white people who live in America that have never been around people who don't look like them. So then they start to have these assumptions about a group of people that they don't know anything about. And then poof, suddenly these people are in power and now we're doing Third Reich shit in the country. Don't respect these niggas' views. They're stupid. They don't have any good ideas. This will be the death of all of us, brother. Holy fuck. Anyway, next nigga, please. Last claim that Mehdi has is that Donald Trump's plan for Gaza is ethnic cleansing. Something that he's very, very well versed in debating. A lot of his news appearances, you'll see him debating about what's happening in Gaza. So let's see how he handles this one. Free Palestine.
Hey, how are you?
Sarah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Get the hell out! Get out! Get out! Get out!
Oh god, not this fucking inbred snow bunny. She was in another goddamn video. She was very famous for saying some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
And same with xenophobic national. Like, what's the problem with xenophobic nationalism? Don't you think that's better for Americans in general?
You bitch.
Hey, how are
Sarah,
you?
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You too. So why do you say this is Donald Trump's plan? Why do you think that?
I mean, he says it's his plan. Have you seen his plan?
When
Have you
did
heard
he
his
say
plan?
it?
He said it standing next to Benjamin Netanyahu in January, February. He said it on Fox News in an interview on Fox. He said it on Air Force One when he was chatting to reporters.
Word for word, what's an example of what he said?
Word for word, he said, for example, we're going to clean out the Gaza Strip. He said they're going to leave. We're going to take control of it. He says, we'll own it. I would own it. And when he was asked on Fox News, people, the Palestinians who are being forced to leave, would they be able to come back? He said, no, they wouldn't. That is the literal definition of ethnic cleansing, according to a UN definition.
Why do you
of
think
ethnic
that Trump is saying this? Do you think that he has some personal interest in cleansing Gaza, or do you think there might be some special interest group or perhaps religious or ethnic group that's, you know, that maybe he received money from them and that's the whole reason why he wants to cleanse Gaza? Or why do you think that is?
I don't do Donald Trump's motivations. I really don't care. My claim is that what he's doing is ethnic cleansing.
Well,
do you agree with that?
I would actually, yeah, probably agree, but I'm
You
just...
agree that it's ethnic cleansing? You agree with doing ethnic
No,
cleansing?
I don't agree with it, but I agree
Okay,
that's
good to
probably
hear.
his plan. But I'm trying to figure out, like, why do you think that is? Because Donald Trump's a white man. He identifies as Christian. I'm not sure if he really is. So what interest does he have in preserving a Jewish ethno-state?
So her whole fucking point here is, why aren't we questioning Trump's motivations? She didn't address the point. Where is this going? Where the fuck is this going? What is your point? You haven't really made one. This is less of a debate and more of a discussion, which I guess is fine, but like, what the fuck? What is the point of this? End the fucking genocide happening. That's it. What the fuck? Next nigga, please. What the fuck?
I mean, to be honest with you, I'd rather you do meth at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa. Welcome back, Richie. You really want to be here?
Oh god, he's fucking back, and he almost broke the damn timer. This nigga, if given the chance, I'm fully convinced that this dude would attack Mehdi Hasan. I'm not joking. I think this nigga wants blood.
First of all, I really thought that obviously where we started, where it ended up, there's a lot of aggression. I can see in your eyes there's a level of exhaustion. This is where my empathy comes in. Where it doesn't is, you know, when you have a room full of people that do agree with you, we have this opportunity to come together. And you're kind of mocking people when they do. So you mock Sarah a little bit when you guys clearly had a common interest and goal to reach. So I can tell you're agitated. I want to bring that all down. weeks.
I'm guessing you're not going to.
No, I'm going to. I do want to point out some contradictions. First and foremost, I don't believe you're pro-American in the value system that you claim to uphold, especially with free speech, if you're not willing to debate people that don't share your values. That's very un-American.
Donald Trump's plan for Gaza is ethnic cleansing.
I don't believe it's ethnic cleansing, because it's not his plan.
It is his plan. He said it's my plan.
No, he is obeying someone else's plan.
This is what I'm saying. This dude is a fucking slime ball, fucking tricknologist. This nigga wants to come up here and act like he has all this, like, oh, you know, I want to bring it down. I want to, you know, diffuse the situation. I want to get things nice and calm. And then he just hits this nigga with a fucking verbal haymaker.
Okay. Who is he obeying?
He is obeying Israel's plan for the Greater Israel Project, of which this is one of those things that we can agree on.
Why is he doing
it? Why is he doing that? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they have something on him. Maybe they have something on all
But
Americans.
you think it's a bad thing what he's doing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
That's to agree with you.
See, I don't want to shut down the conversation. I'm agreeing with you. Okay. Perfect. You know, but I want to take this opportunity because I don't know if I'm going to get the opportunity again to say you're not American. First and foremost, you're not.
Remember what I said? The agitation from you is not going to be lower.
What I'm saying.
You came to lower the temperature and then make racist remarks. You know that's a racist remark.
It's not racist.
You tell an American citizen.
But okay, perfect. You just proved your own point. You just said that was a racist position. Earlier, you argued this contention that America has no race. It's a bunch of immigrants that culminate together.
America has no race.
You inferred it. You absolutely did. So now you're saying it's racist for me to take an American nationalist approach.
What is an American national approach? Is that a white approach?
I think it's a white nativist approach. Of course,
only Americans are white.
Why did your parents?
Hey, you know I'm about to steal on you, right?
No, bro. I'm just
about to baptize this nigga.
Saying he's not American when it has nothing to do with his claim, for one, again, and then they just start going off on a fucking racist diatribe because that's all these niggas got. They're out of steam, so they're just like racism. Like they want to call him slurs so bad, so palpable when you watch these interactions, brother. Lord Almighty, golly gee, fuck, this shit is just wild. This video is fucking so terrible and awful to watch. It physically brings me pain and gives me headaches, brother. I swear to God, I'm gonna crash out. I swear to fuck.
I'm about to go fucking bonkers, buddy.
White Anglo-Saxon.
You know there are 50 million Americans in this country.
I understand, but
none of them Americans in your view.
What I'm trying to get you to do to reach a common ground here.
You're not going to reach a common ground because you said I'm not American.
Please try.
I don't think you're American.
I'm saying you're not.
I think you're American.
I'm saying you're not American due to values.
I don't think you're not American on values either. I think you're a little fascisty, a little racisty.
See, you're using these words. Okay, first of all, I want to say this.
I'm not just throwing at you. You didn't come sit down. I said
every conservative.
All he's doing is using words to correctly point out that you're a racist fascist who doesn't have any good positions. Clearly, just want a white ethno state. You don't even need to hide it. You're among friends. Besides Mehdi Hasan, you could just say, yeah, let's just all the brown people. And those motherfuckers would clap. They would cheer. They would throw you a fucking parade. You don't have to hide, brother. Go ahead. Say it. I will say it.
Has ever been shut down by leftists like you. For every conservative, for every conservative,
you've already said
for every right wing, for every
Stefan
Molyneux, Thomas Sowell, Nick Fuentes, all of those people.
Is Thomas Sowell American?
He's Australian.
What? Really? I didn't know that. I thought Thomas Sowell was a fucking American. He's an American economist. I'm looking this shit up right now. He's American. What the fuck? Is this a different nigga? Who are we talking about? This nigga's American. Did he move to Australia? I'm not reading all this, bro. If he's Australian, maybe he's Australian. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know what. Just because he's a libertarian doesn't mean he's not American, but does make him really fucking stupid. Look who's back. It's been a minute. So yeah, I just wanted to put a little correction here saying that when they were talking about Thomas Sowell, they're not talking about the economist Thomas Sowell. They're talking about the Australian neo-Nazi Thomas Sowell. I literally just found that out like a couple of days ago, and I'm damn near at the end of editing this fucking video. So I'm glad I found that. But yeah, they were talking about a completely different dude. Both of them are terrible people, by the way, so it really doesn't change anything. Yeah. This dude is about 3 seconds away from hitting the fattest zig heil you've ever seen. Next nigga, please. I'm so tired of this fucking idiot. Wow. We finally get a dude who you would very, very easily be able to spot in a crowd. Yeah, that guy's a fucking Republican.
Oh, what the fuck the parents look like? Come on now, Eustace. God don't like ugly now. God must despise his ass then.
Hello, so I'll switch over to the Gaza thing in a second, but first off, I just wanted to touch on that. You said that you support free speech, of course, right? So what I'm confused about is you've refused to debate people that have disagreed with you because you said that they're racist or they're fascist, right?
No. If we're gonna do facts, they said they were racist and fascist. Get your facts right before you start arguing.
So isn't the whole entire point of a debate to debate people that you don't agree with?
I don't debate people who don't see me, A, as equal, no point, or B, support democracy because that would undermine the whole idea of the debate. If you don't support democracy, as our friend here doesn't, and support General Franco, then what is the point of a debate? The First Amendment doesn't mean you have to debate everyone. Somebody comes up to you in the street and starts talking to you. You don't have an obligation to carry on talking to them. I'm sure you go about your business. Somebody comes up to you in the subway and sits next to you and starts ranting in your face. You're not going to start debating. So everyone here has hygiene standards, as do you. There are people you wouldn't debate, I'm sure, as well.
Okay. So can you please describe why you think Trump is supporting ethnic cleansing of Gaza just because he wants to take over the land there. How does that
And
equate to killing
not just take over the land, kick out all the people. That is the definition of ethnic cleansing.
So isn't ethnic cleansing killing people? Because it seems like you're...
No, you can ethnic cleanse people without killing them.
Wrong, Riley. Ethnic cleansing just has to do with the displacement of a people, whether that be physical or cultural. You can ethnically cleanse a population without killing them. That's what happened to Native Americans in America when we took away their culture and stripped them away from their people, actively integrating them into an entire new society that has nothing to do with the original one. That is ethnic cleansing. It's cultural, it's a lot less bloody, but it's still ethnic cleansing. Removing someone from their native culture and replacing it with something else, and also kicking them out of their actual land is very literally ethnic cleansing. That's what Trump is advocating for.
And by the way, they have been killed. More than 50,000 people in Gaza have been killed by the Israelis, by people like Bezalel Smotrich, who said recently, Finance Minister of Israel, we are going to Gaza to conquer, cleanse, and remain. We're going to annihilate the place. We're going to disassemble Gaza, he said.
Next nigga, please. This nigga needs to make like an intelligence potion or some shit, bro.
Oh, wow, great.
Hello, sir. Welcome back.
See you again, Mehdi. All right, so I agree that Trump wants to do a cleansing, but not an ethnic one.
Mods, crush the skull. Thank you.
Do I even need to address such a wild statement? Trump's doing a cleansing, but he's not doing an ethnic cleansing. He's literally advocating for the removal of a ethnic group from their native land.
What's the so-called innocent Palestinians for their own
So-called
ends.
innocent Palestinians. You don't think Palestinians are innocent?
Not all of them. Because,
what about the 17,000 children who were killed?
They are doing the
17,000 children were killed. Were they not innocent? Were they not innocent?
Who's responsible for that?
Israel.
No, Hamas is responsible. Hamas is responsible for hiding in hospitals and making tunnels underneath
So
those
when
hospitals.
children are shot in the head by Israeli snipers not responsible for that?
Look,
it's a simple question.
Here's the problem.
When Israeli snipers shoot Palestinian children in Gaza in the head, as eyewitness testimony and doctor's testimony proves, that's not the fault of the Israeli snipers.
This is the problem.
The problem is you answer the question. I'll ask it a third time. When Israeli snipers shoot Palestinian children in the head, is that not the fault of Israeli snipers?
Well, you gotta let me finish.
No, you gotta answer the question. Fourth time.
Well,
when Israeli
I will
snipers
get to
shoot
your
Palestinian
answer.
children in the
I will
head,
get to your
we're running out
answer.
of time. I need to know what you think about innocent children.
Because I will
what
get
you
your-
said was pretty outrageous. You said
I will
so-called
get to your answer.
innocent Palestinians. For the fifth time, when Palestinian children are shot in the head by Israeli snipers,
What
is that
did-
not the fault of Israeli
what did those
snipers?
children do?
What did
they
you
do?
tell me? The children deserve to be shot in the head.
Because the problem is,
you know,
over there,
millions of people are watching you say
they
to
start
justify
brainwashing
killing
children. They start brainwashing children at a very young age.
So you support
Exactly.
sniping children in Gaza?
Look,
do other people here support sniping children in Gaza? Is that a conservative position?
What if they're wearing a suicide vest?
You know what? We're done. Next nigga, please. You don't get any more chances to talk, bro. Please go hook up with Wario and get some fucking money. You need to get your coin up, clearly. Holy fuck.
First thing I'm going to say is I'm not down for Israel. I guess the first thing I'm going to say. And I don't like when you come up here and you use the type of rhetoric that you do. You talk like all these like left-wing positions, and then you go to the last part, which is I don't support ethnic cleansing in Palestine. I think you're doing a huge disservice to pro-Palestinians when you start aligning yourself with all these progressives. You keep going back to Trump. I don't think this is part of his plan. I think this is a plan of lobbyists. So I'm just warning, when you ally yourself with all these leftists and you come up here and you argue for immigration, you argue up here that, you know, Trump's this bad criminal and this and that, and then you
think Trump's bad too?
I think he's good on some questions and bad on other things, but let me get to the point here, is you ally yourselves with guys like, you know, Jewish Voices for Peace and all those guys.
Great people.
Yeah, not really though.
Why?
Because they're self-interested in it. It
They're
says
not.
it,
By definition,
no,
they're
it says it on their homepage.
By definition, they're not self-interested, right? They're going against their own
Are you going to let me
community.
talk? On their homepage, it literally says that we are here to segregate Judaism from Zionism. It's very clear they're doing this in their own interest. That's why it literally says Jewish Voices for Peace. They're going to be the good Jews who say that we don't support Palestine. And then what happens is you take all these progressives, you go out there and LARP in the street, and then everyone here who's conservative, they're going to vote for the pro-war candidate because they don't want to be associated with all the liberals.
You're forced to vote for pro-war people. Poor
It's either that or get
conservatives.
replaced in my country. What do you want me to do?
Oh, you and your replacement bullshit.
So I don't know what this guy was trying to say, but I think he's just basically admitted that he's an anti-Semite, which of course he is. He's a Republican. Simultaneously, a large majority of them were supporting Israel until very recent. Kind of weird how that works, but whatever. Get this freak off my screen for the love of God. Thank you for your waste of time. Next nigga, please. Oh wait, that's the last nigga. Except for this fucking dude, he addresses a whole nother argument. But honestly, I'm tired. I don't want to do this shit anymore. It's not really worth my time. It's not even worth Mehdi's time. I feel so bad that he was invited on here with the pretense that these niggas were gonna be reasonable people with reasonable positions when they were not. I think one of the best comments that summarizes this, 19 Nazis and 1 Mexican versus Mehdi Hasan. Wow, that was fucking awful. Yeah, nigga, that was honestly horrible to sit through. Again, and every time it just gets worse and fucking worse. I think we can all conclude now that Jubilee has lost its purpose as this platform for reasonable discussion and debate. I mean, what are we even doing anymore? Like I said, when they let the flat earthers on, I knew some shit was fucking fishy. If you try to have these two positions and both of them are supposed to be quote unquote respectable and equal in value, you lead to shit like this. One guy who has facts, who is principled, who is a good debater, who knows how to argue his points and has historical, statistic, and factual precedent to support his claim versus literal Nazis. What's the point of having a debate? I think Mehdi Hasan put this very clear himself. There's no point in debating someone who doesn't value your existence in any capacity. They're not interested in having an actual good faith debate. They don't actually care about anything else but their fucking fringe political views that are no longer fringe thanks to people like Donald Trump. Like, what's the point of debating these people? Most of these motherfuckers are totally fine with the militarization of our police force, of ICE, of the National Guard, and of the military to deport people and throw them into concentration camps. We are the Nazis, brother. Jubilee's just more proof. And that kind of sucks to think about. Hey guys, thank you for watching, bro. I really appreciate that shit. I worked really hard on this fucking video. This is the longest video I've ever made. I initially wasn't gonna make this video as comprehensive as it was, but then I decided, fuck it, why not? I gotta kind of flex on niggas, you know what I'm saying? If you appreciated what I do here, I have other movie reviews, other political topics, sometimes some gaming stuff. I'm gonna be making a gaming channel for that because it doesn't really work on the same YouTube channel. I also have created a Patreon. There's only one tier so far, but if you do like what I do here and you want to support it and shit, you want to see me make more of these types of videos, you know, just let me know, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and all that shit. This is really fun to make despite how long it took. Unfortunately, I work almost every single day. So pretty much once I come home, all I do is edit, you know what I'm saying? And I've been trying to make this video as best as I could. I hope y'all appreciate it. If you made it this far, I really appreciate that shit. Check out my other videos. I make good videos, bro. Niggas don't know about me. I make good videos. I promise you. Watch my other videos, you will enjoy them. Anyway, that's it. I hope y'all have a good day. Keep your head up, you know what I'm saying? Free Palestine, free Sudan, free everybody. We're going through some tough shit right now, but we'll make it through. All right, y'all have a good day.